Hey Hofstra fans, welcome inside the WB Mason Coaches Report with Abby Morgan. I'm Anthony Barrett, joined by Abby Morgan, the head coach of the Hofstra women's lacrosse team. Coach, thanks for the time. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good. You had two games this past week, one conference game and one game against the top 5 team. Drexel was first on Thursday. You were able to win by 6. You start out CAA play in a very convincing fashion.
Yeah, we were very happy with the win. Obviously, Drexel playing them very early apart from the rest of our CAA schedule. We didn't know how it was going to play out. But it was nice for our team to get up for a conference game, and it's nice to be number 1 for a while.
Now, were you surprised that your team had the intensity of a CAA game, even though it was only really week 4 of the season?
We actually talked about it a little bit as a staff and kind of put some bugs in some players' ears to talk about it that way, but it was there. Even our young players knew the significance and also kind of the rivalry that is any CAA game, but Drexel as well. And we've had close games with them, overtime games with them in the recent past, and to beat them soundly, we were very happy with the results.
Jill Mayer, 5 goals against Drexel. How important is that she can become the focal point on offense and be that dominant goal scorer that she's shown flashes of in the past?
Yeah, the flashes is the part that we need her to be consistent doing that, because she has the ability to do that without a doubt. But we need her to be consistent doing scoring the goals, but also the draw controls for us, and that's the one thing that she has been doing consistently. But we would love to have her with a couple goals multiple times in all of our games.
And you took on Maryland at home this weekend. You were able to compete with them. You were only down 3 at halftime. They beat you 11-4, but Maryland is ranked as high as 3, depending on what poll you look at. And your team was really able to compete with one of the top squads in the country.
Yeah, we had a great game plan going in. We knew what we were going to do against them. They hadn't seen, and we were very confident with it. And we executed well. I think they made adjustments a little bit to our defense, and we made adjustments back. But offensively, we just, in the second half, we played probably 40 minutes of good lacrosse and Hofstra lacrosse. And then once the second half came around, we started to turn the ball over. Couldn't get any flow on our offense, and that was the game there. But it was nice for us to execute a game plan, for even if it wasn't for a full game, and have success against obviously a great team.
As many great performances as Jackie Pandolf has had, she had her best performance of her career against Maryland. What more can you say about a player like Jackie when she gets up for the biggest game on the schedule all season long and has one of her best performances like that?
She's just a consistent player, and we prepare her very well in terms of what she's going to see and watching film and simulating shots that she's going to see. And it took her 1 or 2, and after that, it was just, that game could have been very, very different without Jackie in the cage, and she just comes up big for us when we need her the most. And sometimes you don't want to talk to her because she's playing so well. Just let her be.
Do you sleep a little bit better at night sometimes, knowing that maybe if you get beat on defense, Jackie's going to be able to bail you out a couple times?
She really does, and that hasn't been her MO earlier in her career, where she would make the saves that she can make. And now we've expected more out of her, make the saves that are, the tough ones. But it always seems that when she makes saves, they look very easy. And I think that's just because of her solid technique. She anticipates well. When she sees the ball, she makes saves. And she does a great job for us. And we're very happy with her play so far. We need her to continue to play the way she's playing.
April Lionetta was honored as CAA Rookie of the Week. Her, as well as Britton Altamare, have been playing fantastic for you. How big is that to get some good play from freshmen?
They've been great, and April is just a calm force on all throughout the field. She's definitely more of a true midfielder than Britt is right now, but April just never stops fighting, and that's something that she does it with a very stoic kind of look to her, and she never really gets rattled. And that's something that our team really feeds off of, and Britt is just a spark. She's fast, she's strong, and we'd love her to score a couple more goals here, get her going to the cage a little bit more. But they both have a lot of talent, and we have some other freshmen who we'd love to step up to. Sam Lennox is one who's kind of been under the radar and hasn't really gotten her time to show everybody what she can do. She's doing it in practice big time, and the team is just waiting for her to have that goal. So it's nice to have freshmen produce.
Now, there were some rule changes made to your sport in the offseason. How do you think your team has adjusted to them, particularly in the draw controls and whenever there's a yellow card called?
I think we've done very well. The draws have been We've been pretty successful in terms of where we want to put the ball. Our success has not been where we're winning it on that outside of the circle. So, and really that's more us toughness and technique through ground balls and being strong through checks and things like that. That's something we continue to work on, but I don't think the rule change has really has changed us or affected us that way. And the man down, man up, we've been pretty successful with holding teams. We have a good setup for what we do on offense too, and I think Maryland was the first time that we had a man up and we didn't have a good opportunity to shoot. It was at the end of the half, and we just didn't get a great shot off. But I think our plans are pretty good, and hopefully they consistently are successful for us.
Now, we said it last week that those past two games were going to be big because it was the conference opener and also a game against Maryland, a good litmus test to see where your team is. So now you've had a chance to evaluate your team. Where would you put them?
I think we're a very talented team. I think we're a team that can make waves, and we missed an opportunity. Boston College, we talked about, was an opportunity to make some waves in college lacrosse, and we saw some upsets on Saturday before Maryland, and we wanted to be part of that. So it is frustrating that we weren't able to come out with a win against Maryland, because we definitely felt that we could have won that game and should have, and our mistakes were the ones that kept us. But we played very well, and to play with a number 5 team in the nation, we should be there. So it does give us, it gives you confidence. It doesn't feel good, but it does give you confidence when you go into that next game, and we are seeing a constant improvement, so we need to keep that up.
Now, you have a full week of practice this week. Maryland was on Sunday, and you take on Rutgers this Saturday, so what's the big focus in practice?
Well, we need to firm up some of the things that were easy mistakes for us and simple things. We got checked, and we didn't have successful passes all the time in our clears, and that was something that really hurt us. So we need to focus on those, but we haven't had 4 days of practice in a long time. So it will be nice to, maybe throw in some new things and get our offense really solidified and meshing a little bit more. We can kind of get a little disconnected at times. So if we're able to practice that this week, we'll be in good shape for Rutgers.
Now, there's also some festivities coming to the game. You're going to have some youth lacrosse teams there. You're going to have some alumni coming back. Can you just talk a little bit more about that aspect?
Yeah, it should be a great day on Saturday. Hopefully the weather is one that gets a lot of fans to the games as well. But it's also a doubleheader with our men's team. They'll be playing Notre Dame following our game. So it's going to be a good day. A lot of people, hopefully a big crowd. Youth games at halftime. Our alumni will be there. We've got a good crew so far. Hopefully we have some more who surprise us and come on Saturday. So it should be a great atmosphere for lacrosse on Long Island, and 2 great teams are coming to play. So hopefully we'll have a lot of people there.
Now, Rutgers is a very interesting team because you guys really have a rivalry that's been forming with them. You have some exciting games in the past. Obviously, there was the comeback 2 years ago in the rain at Stewart when Jill Mayer had the game winner in overtime. Are you surprised that even though they're not a conference opponent, you guys really have this rivalry with them?
I think it's one of those things where we've just been playing them forever. And I think it's probably over 20 plus years that we've been playing them, and they're right down the road, and a lot of players, there's some Long Island players on the team, but a lot of players that they've played against in the past that are on the Rutgers squad, and it is always a fight. There's always a little blood drawn when you play Rutgers, and by both teams, and they are always tight games, and we've had a couple other overtime with them, and it usually comes down to a last possession. So you can't help but have a rivalry when you have great games against an opponent, and when it is one way or the other, by a couple goals, it's usually not what you expect and how the game was played out. So to have it our alumni day, it is a rivalry, so they'll all be excited to see us do well.
Now, is that something that you had to preach to your team, that it's a rivalry, or have the older players on this team, the juniors and the seniors, really let the younger players know that?
The older players definitely do it, and we try and keep it this year when we talk about games and focus it on this year. So we let our upperclassmen get those kind of, this is what happened in the past, and we don't want to have this happen again, or we beat them in this. And I know our alumni get a couple texts in there that say, remember this game, and so it's nice to have that support, but the rivalry really comes from within our team.
And what's going to be the key to victory on Saturday?
Well, we're going to have to continue to work on those 50-50 balls, and Maryland was the first game out of our game so far where we won one of the 50-50 categories in draw controls and ground balls. So we need to win both of those. That's a real goal for our team, and meshing with the offense. I think that's something that we've had some disconnect, and we need to really firm up how we can have everybody be involved and everybody have shots that has the potential to score goals for us. If we do that, we can score a lot of goals, and we haven't done it yet.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And thank you, Hofstra fans, for joining us inside the WB Mason Coaches Report with Abby Morgan.